chapter 17. And Jehoshaphat his son reigned in his stead, and strengthened himself against Israel, and he placed forces in all the fortified cities of Judah. And he set garrisons in the land of Judah, and in the cities of Ephraim, which Asa his father had taken. And the Lord was with Jehoshaphat, because he walked in the first ways of his father David, and he sought not unto the Baalim, but sought to the God of his father, and walked in his commandments, and not after the doings of Israel. Therefore the Lord established the kingdom in his hand, and all Judah brought to Jehoshaphat presents, and he had riches and honor in abundance, and his heart was lifted up in the ways of the Lord. And furthermore he took away the high places and the Asherim out of Judah. Also in the 3rd year of his reign he sent his princes, even Ben-Kail, and Obadiah, and Zechariah, and Nethanel, and Micaiah, to teach in the cities of Judah. And with the Levites, even Shemaiah, and Nethaniah, and Zebadiah, and Asahel, and Shemiramoth, and Jehonathan, and Adoniah, and Toviah, and Tovadaniah, the Levites, with them Elishama, and Jehoram, the priests. And they taught in Judah, having the book of the law of the Lord with them, and they went about throughout all the cities of Judah, and taught among the people. And a terror from the Lord fell upon all the kingdoms of the lands that were round about Judah, so that they made no war against Jehoshaphat. And some of the Philistines brought Jehoshaphat presents, and silver for tribute. The Arabians also brought him flocks, 7,700 rams, and 7,700 he-goats. And Jehoshaphat waxed great exceedingly, and he built in Judah castles and cities of store. And he had many works in the cities of Judah, and men of war, mighty men of valor in Jerusalem. And this was the numbering of them according to their fathers' houses, of Judah, the captains of thousands, Adnah, the captain, and with him mighty men of valor, 300,000. And next to him Jehochanan, the captain, and with him 280,000. And next to him Amasiah, the son of Zichri, who willingly offered himself unto the Lord, and with him 200,000 mighty men of valor. And of Benjamin Eliadah, a mighty man of valor, and with him 200,000 armed with bow and shield. And next to him Jehozabad, and with him 180,000 ready, prepared for war. These were they that waited on the king, beside those whom the king put in the fortified cities throughout all Judah. All right, let's go back up to verse 1. Remember yesterday, Asa had passed away, and he had great problems there in the end of his reign, we will see. Asa was that healer of the wound, and he got down in his feet. These paths that he was on, he was went astray there at the end of his reign. We'll see. The heart has to be whole towards the Lord, always. Always. We're going to pick it up here in verse 1. And Jehoshaphat, his son, reigned in his stead, and strengthened himself against Israel. So now Jehoshaphat is the son of Asa. He's going to take over Judah and reign there, and he strengthened himself against Israel. We're going to see that Israel, and that was Baas at the time, there was great contention, there was great strife in all the nations, because they'd gone astray from God, and we're going to find out. Verse 2, and he placed forces in all the fortified cities of Judah, and set garrisons in the land of Judah, and in the cities of Ephraim, and which Asa his father had taken. And he placed fortified cities of Judah. He fortified the cities and built them up again for war. And he placed forces there, armies there, throughout all Judah, or throughout all Judah. He would place these garrisons, and that's what these garrisons are. He makes forts or fortresses, fortified places, throughout all this land of Judah, and in these cities as well. A city is any place that has a guard. These cities of Ephraim, which his father had taken, Ephraim, or those cities of the double fruited. 3. And the Lord was with Jehoshaphat, because he walked in the first ways of his father David, and sought not unto the Baalim. And these Baalim, we'll see that this is a plural. These would be plural for these Lord images. And Baal is a Lord, and this would be an image they would make and set up there in their Asherahs, their places where they would plant these evergreens and make known these places to go to. These, I guess they may have been assumed at that time. See, these were alternative places of worship, kind of like they have alternative things in this, our generation, that are not acceptable as well to the Lord. They call them alternatives, but they're not. They're not an alternative. The choice is life and death. But Jehoshaphat, he walks in the ways of David. That was the beloved, that chosen one. And David always turned in his sin, no matter what. David would turn, and when he found himself being punished by God, because David sought after the Lord from the beginning. And in these first ways, even these ways of David, there's the ways of the beginning, these first ways. See, and that was to not go after these Lord images. We'll find out there was in all the land, even at the time of David. 4. But sought to the God of his father, and walked in his commandments, and not after the doings of Israel. But Jehoshaphat will walk in the law. We'll find out. Once again, God's showing you that he walks in the law. God's going to prosper him. As soon as he breaks the law, God's going to punish. See, that's the whole thing. We can use it all for from the beginning. It is for a work, for a teaching even. But Jehoshaphat, he walks in the commandments, even these commandments of God. 5. Therefore the Lord established the kingdom in his hand, and all Judah brought to Jehoshaphat presents, and he had riches and honor and abundance. So God once again shows you that just walking in the law by the king being obedient to the law of God, the kingdom is prospered. See, the kingdom is prospered, the dominion's prospered, the king's prospered. We'll find out with riches and honor and abundance. He's famous. He's known throughout all the land. We're going to see God's going to strike great fear because of his fame. See, because of his wealth and his fame. Jehoshaphat. God, and Jehoshaphat means God has placed under the law. This one, even God is placed under the law because God established the law to govern the just. 6. And his heart was lifted up in the ways of the Lord. And furthermore, he took away the high places and the Asherim out of Judah. And his understandings, his heart, that which is within, the understanding even, was lifted up in the ways of the Lord. In the ways of God was they lifted up in his understanding, even in the law. Furthermore, he took away the high places and the Asherim out of Judah, and we'll see. See, that's what Asa did. That's what Abijah did. That's what had been going on for years, but they'd creep back in. They'd creep back in, see, and that's what would happen. They creep back in by pleasantness and beauty and all the wonderful greatness that goes on with anything and all that they do. We'll see. These Asherim, once again, that's those evergreen trees they would plant up there. They represent this step up, step forward, get closer to God place. 7. Also, in the 3rd year of his reign, he sent princes, even Ben-Kail and Obadiah and Zechariah and Nethanel and Micaiah, to teach in the cities of Judah. Now also in the 3rd year, and that's to accomplish, to complete, that is to complete these greater understanding, even in his reign. He sent his princes, and these are the ones he would establish. These are rulers. These would be these rulers he would establish over the hundreds and thousands. Even Ben-Kail, that's a son, and it's Kail. Kail is this ability. It's ability. We've spoke of that ability to do things, and not having just only strength, but you have ability to do it. Obadiah is the servant of God. He is the servant of God. And Zechariah, the remembered of God, that remembered my God. Nathanael, which was given of the mighty one, even that which is given of the mighty one, given to the mighty one. And Micaiah, the one like unto God, this one who is like unto God, to teach in the cities of Judah. And we're going to find out just what they was teaching. See, this would be in accordance with the law. We'll find this, that they was teaching. 8. And with them the Levites, even Shemaiah, and Nethaniah, and Zebadiah, and Asahel, and Shemiramoth, and Jehonathan, and Adoniah, and Toveiah, and Tovadoniah, the Levites, and with them Elishama, and Yakorah, the priests. And these would be the Levites, those that join, even Shemaiah. That's these ones that listen to God or heard of God, these that hear my God. The Nethaniah, that's the ones that are given of God. That's like this, that's given. Zebadiah, the endowment of God. That's what they're given, this even endowment of God. Asahel is that fashioned, or this that's made, created of God. Shemiramoth is that fame, even that, we've heard of that fame, Shema, that name, even in the heights. And that's what that name is, that name that's made famous, this name that's known. Jehonathan is God's gift. That's that name that was made known. That's God's gift. Adoniah, he is the Lord of my God. Toveiah, it's the good of God. Tov is good. Tov is the good of my God. And Tov Adoniah, this is the good even of the Lord of my God. The Levites, and those are those that would join, and with them would be Elishama. That is my mighty one has heard. My mighty one even knows and understands. And Jehoram, these that God has exalted. This is those that God has exalted. They are the priests. 9. And they taught in Judah, having the book of the law of the Lord with them. And they went about throughout all the cities of Judah and taught among the people. And they taught in Judah, these places of praisings, having the book of the law of the Lord with them. That's the book of the law. See, that book that was wrote down there, written so it would stay, written just like it was written in stone from the beginning, the law. And they took it with them, and they went throughout all these cities of Judah, and taught among the people. And they taught the law, that which is in the book, that which they was given to teach even in the beginning, according to the law, the word of God. 10. And a terror from the Lord fell upon all the kingdoms of the lands that were round about Judah, so that they made no war against Jehoshaphat. And this terror from the Lord that fell upon all the kingdoms, all these nations, all around, all the other kings and their dominions, and of all the other lands round about Judah, all around these lands of praisings, we'll find out, Judah, so that they made no war against Jehoshaphat. There was no war against this one whom God has placed under the law. God's showing you He's made him obedient. He's using him. God does this. This is the way God works. 11. And some of the Philistines brought Jehoshaphat presents and silver for tribute. The Arabians also brought him flocks, 7,700 rams, 7,700 he-goats. And some of the Philistines, remember the Philistines, these are the ones God's been using forever. These drifters, these wanderers, these ones who wandered away, drifted away from God a long time ago, they brought Jehoshaphat presents. They brought this one whom God has placed under the law, and the law's ruling. The law is acting as the law rule here. And this silver for tribute, and these presents, and all these things that pass through the fire, and that's what they represent, to be as that which had to pass through the judgment, to be purified, fire, as tribute. And this is just to pay tribute to him. The Arabians as well. These Arabians are the steppe dwellers, and these steppes were a mountain range that was flat on top. And these steppes, what they would do is they dwell there at the bottom of these steppes, and there's a shadow cast by these steppes, and that's the way I see they dwell. And they brought him flocks, these 7,700 rams, even 7. That's the perfection of it, the accomplishment, the end of it all, would be fulfillment, and these 700 rams, even this perfection or this accomplishment of judgment for these rams, these ones who have exalted themselves through their twistings. That's what these horns represent. That's what makes them a ram, makes them known that they are. And 7,700 he-goats. And these 7,000, once again, that's for the perfection of fulfillment and the perfection of judgment, these he-goats. These he-goats are the sa'ir. We remember the sa'ir. That was what they was using over in Israel. These would be those that refer to the coverings of fear. These coverings of fear that they made from the skins of these animals. These coverings. 12. And Jehoshaphat waxed great exceedingly, and he built in Judah castles and cities of store. And Jehoshaphat did wax great. God does it. See, God prospered him. He was obeying the law, keeping the law. God prospers him. God gives him over. God sets fear in all the other nations. God goes before him because he's being obedient to the law. And he builds in Judah castles, these fortified places of palaces even, and cities of store, and places that were prepared. See, even for battle, we find out, soldiers all over. And he had many works in the cities of Judah, and men of war, mighty men of valor in Jerusalem. And he kept these mighty men of valor, even the mightiest ones of war, that had made themselves known in battle throughout all Judah. These men of valor, these mighty men of valor that were been in battle and they knew what to do in Jerusalem. And that's that place of peaceful teachings, and that city of peace. God's been using it forever as a place of example. That's where he put his name. He got the king's throne sitting there with him. 14. And this was the numbering of them according to their fathers' houses of Judah, the captains of thousands, Adnah the captain, and with him mighty men of valor, 300,000. And this was the number of them. This was their reckoning or their numbering, we can say, of them, according to their fathers' houses, according to those where they were born from, of Judah. Those of praisings, these captains, these rulers of thousands over these fulfillments, is Adnah. He's the captain, he's the ruler, he's the one in charge, Adnah. And Adnah is the luxuriant. Adnah means to be have it luxury, have it great, have it wonderful. He and him, with his mighty men of valor, were these 300,000. These would be to complete the judgments, even the fulfillments. 15. And next to him was Yehochanan, the captain, and with him 280,000. And Yehochanan, he would be with him as well, this captain, and he's a ruler. And with him are these 280,000. Now witness this judgment and the work of God in redemption in the fulfillment, because score is 20. That's redemption. We get that when we witness the law. That's 2/10. And when the law is working, see, we can witness God. 16. And next to him Amasiah, the son of Zechri, who willingly offered himself unto the Lord, and with him 200,000 mighty men of valor. And next to him as well was Amasiah. Amasiah are these strengths of God. these strengths, even the great power of God. He is the Son, and that which comes forth from those that are remembered, Zechri, who willingly offer himself unto the Lord. And with him are these mighty men of valor as well, these 200, those that witness the judgment, even the fulfillment, would be these mighty men of valor. 17, and of Benjamin, Eliadah, a mighty man of valor, and with him 200,000, armed with bow and shield. And of Benjamin, Benjamin is that son, is that son of my right hand, or this son of my strength, the son of my strength, or the son of my right hand. And Eliadah would be his name, a mighty man of valor, and this Eliadah is the mighty one who understands, the mighty one of my understanding even. And with him was these 200,000. Now witness again all this judgments, because it'll be the fulfillment. They are armed with bow and shield, and that bow is that which can be bent in strength. That's the law of God. And this shield as well is the law of God. It is your covenant. It's your protection. 18. And next to him, Yehoshaphat, and with him 180,000 ready, prepared for war. And next to him would be Yehoshaphat. And Yehoshaphat is that God has endowed. Remember, Zebadiah, this endowment of God. Well, Yehoshaphat is God has endowed. And that endowment, we'll find out, is that gift from God. Would be these 180,000 ready, prepared for war. And that's the judgments. It's the work of God for redemption, and it's the fulfillments. Now, once again, score is 20, that we can witness the law and its fulfillment even. It's ready, it's prepared for war. 19. And these were they that waited on the king, besides those whom the king put in fortified cities throughout all Judah. And these were just the ones that stood beside the king. These are just the ones standing there by the king, this one who God has set there as the ruler, Yehoshaphat. God rules, and God has placed under the law even this kingdom, and we'll find out God making an example. Once again, these kings God given for a work, given for his use, given to serve. Ours is to witness. Let's move forward. Chapter 18. Turn and return.